We're in a crazy situation right now where houses are being just left on the market. People are feeling the pinch. People have no idea what the fuck is going on. And it's crazy right now. So I want to go through people's personal experiences. What's happening? People are just giving up on selling their house because they feel like these locks on mortgages. So, okay, couple things are going on in my opinion before we go into the TikToks. So what I'm thinking personally, right, is people feel trapped in their rates of like 2 to 3%. Why would they go get a rate for like 6% right now? Even if we see rates coming down a little, I don't know. Inflation data today wasn't the most promising. I'm sure actually mortgage rates probably ticked up today. We'll see. But I wasn't like thrilling yee, at least in terms of what the Fed wants to see. And there's also the other thing. And we see this when it comes to people selling their cars or selling anything that they already bought. People saw how crazy home prices went in like the COVID era. And they saw that their home was valued on Zillow for a crazy price. And now they're not willing to accept anything lower. So they'd rather pull off their house because they think they deserve all this huge thing, this huge price. So let's go over some of the sentiments that people are dealing with right now. Let's get some data. Let's talk housing, everyone's favorite subject on this Thursday. By the way, as people realize we're not talking about Charlie Kirk, about 400 people dropped off. I've used this title like 5 times. I didn't even associate it with the news going on. I apologize. I just don't want to get into all that shit. It's just too sad for me.
One of my houses is right there on the end. I've had that for over a year, about a year and a half.
One of my houses? Go on.
All of these houses, brand new builds, available. All 10 of them for sale. Just sitting here, year and a half. 10, like these.
A year and a half. Okay, you know what that's telling you? I'm going to give you a little fun fact. The market is deeming that no one wants to fucking buy it at the price you have listed it for, and it's no longer a choice. It's no longer a choice, buddy. If you want to sell it, you got to meet the buyer where they are. It's not there. You're wanting a lot more for it. No one can afford it. Yeah, if it's the reality that no one can afford it, and guess what, big guy, you got to lower the price to what people can afford. Or else you're never going to sell it. I'm surprised he hasn't been willing to drop in a year and a fucking half, essentially. Like, that's kind of crazy, right? $1 million homes, I see the problem. Yeah, this is look like piece of shit new development in the middle of the desert with no trees. I want to die. Like, why the fuck? Yeah, those aren't $1 million homes.
Are $1 million homes.
In what world are these $1 million homes?
Maybe that's a problem. 10. Just chill.
Dude, those are like fucking single family homes with the most depressing ass neighborhood I've ever seen. These are $1 million homes. I think this guy is the problem. Only buyers are private equity firms. Remember, private equity is like 1% of single family homes. It's way overblown what it is. Now they own a lot of apartment complexes for sure, but single family homes, yeah, it's low.
One of my houses is right there.
They just canceled, they dropped and canceled everything. So what happened was, the
oh, she's freaking out. She's on edge.
inspection came back, and they said there was $20,000 in damages inside the house. There was not.
Okay. Well, hold on. That's their negotiating, right? They're like, oh, I want $20,000 in concessions, blah, 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 to fix. Not damages, probably.
They said they needed a new roof. And they were asking for $10,000 for a new
asking. It's negotiation.
Roof. And we said, we'll meet you halfway with 5 because there's no leaking, there's no damage. The roof is old. Okay, it's old. If the house was built,
then it probably needs a new roof. What's old? No one says the roof is old. Dude, if you're constituting it as old, it probably needs to be replaced or fixed at minimum. UK interest rates are currently sitting at an average of 3.9. Yeah, but you guys don't have 30-year fixed rate mortgages, right? You guys switch into an adjustable rate mortgage, right? After like 5 years.
In 2005, you can move into the house, get homeowners insurance, and have a new roof changed.
So this is kind of what you would call.
So this is what's interesting. Here's the data we have today, guys. The fuck is kind of going on with this? This is weird. Okay, here's the data we're seeing right now. The average 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 6.35%, which is, I think that's the lowest this year so far. Wow, 15-year fixed rate is down to 5.5%. Okay, so that is helping with borrowing costs, but still people aren't buying the homes that we want. National home price growth is modest, 1.2 to 1.4% year over year, which is well below inflation, right? So it's currently not keeping up with inflation. So that's kind of a cooling of the overall price gains. Inventory and listing. Inventory is up 18.4% year over year. But here's the thing. If it's up 18.4%, but no one is willing to accept lowering the prices, but the inventory is higher, every seller is about to be fucked and in for a rude awakening. Are they just going to give up? New listings are growing slowly. 1.1 million homes for sale in a recent week. Wow, that's crazy. That's with Realtor.com. Homes sold have traded down slightly. For example, in 2025, in July, there were 479,000 homes sold compared to 485,000 the same month last year. Oh, interesting. Is it because that's a 1.3% drop, right? Is that because, again, sellers aren't willing to drop their house down? Hello from Ohio. Hi. Hi. Yeah, a lot of people thought I was going to talk about Charlie Kirk. Maybe I should change my title because we need to talk about, how about this? Let me change the title because I did not mean for that to happen. If you're right at the beginning of the VOD, I talked about it for about 5 minutes. My thought is just it's unacceptable that anyone should die based on their opinions. If we were talking something actions, right? If we're talking like fucking Saddam Hussein doing actions, that's different. But having opinions, that's unacceptable to die over. Anyone, no matter what, extremism is a horrible thing. Same would go for Hassan Piker. Same would go for fucking Ethan Klein, Destiny, Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro. It doesn't matter. But that's not the conversation here. That's not the conversation here. The housing market is currently valued at, I guess this is a record, $55.1 trillion, which is up $20 trillion since early 2020. That's insane. That's fucking crazy. The growth over the past year was modest. $862 billion. That's fucking crazy. $20 trillion up to $55 trillion today. That is fucking crazy. Listen, I know that feels bubble. That feels bubble all over it, right? Yeah. Housing payments for owner reached a median of $2,035. That's interesting. That's lower than I thought it would be. Median rents rose to $1,307. Interesting.
Hey guys. It's April and Lance here. This is round 2 of taking this video because somebody is a pain in my ass. But anyways, we decided to come here because we swore that we would be upfront and honest and open about the good, the bad, the ugly, and all the things in between with this adventure.
Tell us.
The truth is, we have listed the house. It has sat on the market for 2 months.
Okay, 2 months though. What the average was like 90 days is like classic traditional, right? So 2 months, I wouldn't be freaking out. Maybe a slight price drop to show that you're clearly motivated to sell would be important, but yeah.
We have gotten very little, how do you say, traction?
Well, you're probably overpriced. There's buyers in the pool, but buyers not willing to buy a house they cannot afford when interest rates are still high, even if they're at the lowest point this year so far, but still high. Well, listen, for a long time, let's pretend, how long would it take for interest rates to stay at about 6.5% for that to feel normal? Because we had incredible rates during COVID and people still see that in the past. People still see that in their lives. They're like, fuck, I'm going to wait for that. How long is it going to take? Does it need to be 6.5% for that to feel like a good rate?
We've gotten one offer and they...
Well, there you go. You got an offer.
We got 4 offers.
Would you buy right now? Yeah, because I feel like you should squeeze the buyer down. Or the seller down. It's a buyer's market. But don't buy anything you can't afford. But squeeze them down. Squeeze them.
We're not.
We got one real offer and they ended up ghosting their realtor when it came time to put the earnest money down. And the other
Yeah, fair enough.
offers were from investors who lowballed us.
Thank you. This person right here. Nobody is lining up to pay 2021 prices for 2025 payments. Exactly. That's the sentiment right there.
Out.
Oops.
The selling season's over in just 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, selling homes is going to be almost non-existent, which it is right now. It's at record low.
I love the optimistic music. I guess this is good. Maybe it is. I don't know.
lows across the country. But if you think it's low now, and it's prime season, June, biggest season of the year for buying and selling homes, and it's been a disaster. But it's about to get a lot worse because in 2 weeks, it'll be past the 4th of July. And after the 4th of July, it's all about back to school, back to school.
So help me figure out why I can't get this house sold.
Okay, we got brown grass. The outside shingling is like ugly as fuck. This looks like 2000, right? There's no trees to speak of. There's a couple way back there in like a neighbor's backyard. This is depressing as a dick. What do you have, a red bush here? What the fuck is going on? Okay, that's first.
It's been shown many, many, many times.
Sure.
And just no contract on it. So
okay, give me a price. Give me a view.
give you a quick look of the neighborhood it's in.
Okay, that neighborhood looks literally miserable. Why is there not a single tree in anyone's front yard? This looks like the most depressing neighborhood I would ever live in the entire world. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Yeah, why would people want to live in the desert? This one's not desert, but it's just a depressing neighborhood. Malcolm says it's a $350,000 house. Let's find out. Yeah, millennial gray houses. I know. Yeah, they're depressing. It doesn't look like a new development. This side looks newer. This is a weird neighborhood. And look, you can tell this is like a new lawn. They put down like the gray patches, but they didn't water it, or is it winter there already?
It's a neighborhood, great yard. We got
this was filmed in late spring.
Sod in the front. We've got landscaping. We've got a double car garage.
Whoa, you can fit 2 cars in your garage? Crazy.
We've got sprinkler systems. This is a 1479 square foot house.
It looks so much bigger than less than 1,500. Like, I feel when it comes to buying a house or reselling a house, you want minimum 3-bed, 2-bath, garage attached, 1,500 square foot house. That is like the minimum that Americans are looking for in deep suburbia. Like, people don't accept starter homes anymore. You know, like 100 years ago when we were getting starter homes and it was like 1,000 square feet, 2-bed, 1-bath. Like, that was classic, you know? We don't accept that. The American consumer doesn't accept that. You're building a brand new house under 1,500 square feet that looks like it delivers at least 2,000. That's shit.
With 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths.
Well, at least they hit that rule. Okay, look at that. I mean, it has vinyl flooring from 2012, 2008, if I'm being generous, actually. It was shitty ceiling fan, and they got the shitty build new home creamed yellow paint. This is shit. Well, listen, I mean, a roof over your head is nice, right? But if people have the choice, why are they choosing this in the middle of nowhere?
Kind of an open concept.
I would accept this, but it's only me and my girl. Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, I mean, this is when you're going and getting a house, like, yeah, I'd be happy. I could make a really good life here, you know? I'm chilling. But when people are in a market where more houses are on the market and there's more choices, why is someone choosing this for likely overpriced, right? That's the question.
Floor plan. So you walk in and we've got the living space. Okay,
one, you're walking into a living space that is the size of like an apartment living space. That's not great. That's not a great living room if we're being honest. And then is that the little kit? Is this a kitchenette right here? Is that what this is? Or like a little off kitchen? Not kitchen, sorry. Dining room. Is this where you put the table? This looks like somewhere you rent.
Here we've got a coat closet right here, half bath.
Okay, it's fine.
In there.
Oh, what is this like white barn painted bullshit? Dude, you need a different designer. This is a horrible mirror. Again, this really is. He's like, he's elder millennial, young Gen X. Like, this is what they dreamed of when they graduated high school, but they haven't developed to the modern market. Looks like my first rental. Yeah, I know. This looks like a couple friends of mine. They rented a place in like way North Austin last couple years, and they were in a place that was nicer than this, but it's giving me that vibe. It's not a place where someone wants to buy. It's a place where someone wants to rent. I don't know.
So help me figure.
That's it, huh? Groomy AI. Wait, who is this? Who's the original creator here? Here we go. Let's search this guy. I want to see the rest of the house. Because that was just I'm not surprised. I really want to know what it was priced at. Okay. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. That's okay.
A $550,000 home with a 2.5% mortgage rate. We don't like our neighborhood. Do we sell or do we rent? Well, let's run the numbers. This is why so many people are not selling their homes and they feel stuck. Let's say they bought this house for $350,000 in 2020, got a loan for $320,000 at 2.5%. Their payment out the door was probably $1,850. Now, 4 years later, their home was worth $550,000, so their property tax and insurance might have went up. Let's say $2,100.
COVID base, that COVID boost, but is it worth that today in the year of good old 2025?
Is their payment if they just stay. But if they're gonna sell, it's gonna cost them $30,000 to sell with fees and closing costs, leaving them with $520,000. But they said they owed $260,000.
Fees and closing costs. Is that considered? I don't know if that's including seller and buyer realtor fee, 6%. Which, by the way, now you can kind of split between them, but it's a buyer's market, so I don't know why they wouldn't just put that on the seller to pay the 6% total.
$2,000 on the loan, so they'll leave them with $258,000 of cash to bring to their next property.
Not bad.
Let's say they want to upgrade to a 650, just a little upgrade. They're going to have
Oh, with the rates, let's see, this is going to get fucked.
$20,000 of closing costs, leaving them with $238,000 to put down. Taking out a loan of $412,000 at 7% will now bring their payment with property tax and everything to $3,650. So by going from...
And has their income increased by that percentage? That's insane. I highly doubt that would be insane. There's no way.
A 550 home to a 650 home, even with $238,000 cash down, their payment has gone up $1,500 a month. Yeah. And what's even crazier is if you look back to 2020 when they had that interest rate of 2.5%, even now if they keep it, it's only going to cost them $135,000 in interest over 30 years. This new home at a $412,000 loan, if they never refinance at 7%,
which they probably would, because at some point rates are probably going to go down, right?
Will end up costing them $574,000. So them moving from a 550 to a 650 house, even with $238,000 cash down, it's going to cost them nearly $450,000 in interest to make.
Luxury homes are sitting on the market and
if your home's not selling, it's because it's overpriced.
Yes, it is easy. Thank you. It's as easy as that. It's the market. The market's telling you it's overpriced. Welcome to the market. The market decides.
Buyers determine the value of your home. And if you're not asking for a price that's currently within the ballpark of what the buyers would consider as a good value for your home, then it won't sell and it will sit on the market. Exactly. So if your home's not selling and it's sitting on the market, you can either do improvements to it to make the value of your home more to match.
Yeah, that does not, unless it's really outdated, that does not pull the weight today that it did previously.
Match the asking price that you're currently asking for, or you can lower the price to what the home is actually worth in its current condition. That's it.
I'm going to tell you why your house isn't selling.
If your home isn't selling, it's...
She lost.
So first of all, every single time your house shows, your realtor should be giving you feedback. Based off
sure.
that feedback, you should have a pretty good idea as to why it's not selling. 95% of the time, it's simply overpriced. I know you don't want to come down on the price.
Is your home not selling, or if you're an agent, is your listing not selling? Listen up. I'm going to tell you what you can do.
Nah.
I want to punch you in the face. I'm not going to, but I want to.
Okay, what she's responding to is when I tell people I have a house in Texas that won't sell, and they ask, have you thought about renting it?
I want to punch you in the face. I'm not going to, but I want to.
Oh, that's it. Okay. No valid information beyond that. That's healthy dialogue.
71% of real estate agents in 2024 did not sell a single home.
That's insane. And everyone and their mother and their sister and their brother and their daughter want to become real estate agents. 71% of realtors didn't sell a home in 2024. It's fucking crazy. And that was 2024. What about 2025?
That means out of 1.5 million real estate agents nationwide, over 1 million people didn't sell a home.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Not one? Did they help someone buy a house? Oh, fuck.
Wow. And only 4% of the agents across the United States sold over 10 homes, which that means roughly 60,000 agents out of 1.5 million sold over 10 homes. And you're looking at one. I have to say 2024 was not a great year for real estate.
Then what about 2025?
I'm glad it's behind me. Even with interest rates hovering around 7%, we're finally seeing people get off the fence, get in the game, list their houses, and start buying too. It's interesting to see the change in the optimism in the market.
Here are the 3 only reasons houses don't sell. First reason, the house is overpriced. What? People think their homes are worth millions of dollars, but sometimes they just aren't. Second reason a home doesn't sell. Your real estate agent's an idiot. They don't return calls, they don't follow up on leads, or they just don't have any experience. Third reason, the house has a defect. It stinks of cigarettes, it has mold.
Dude, have you ever walked into a house and it just smells like fucking cigarettes, man? For all you home buyers out there, you're like, oh shit, I can't do this. Sold our house in 3 days outside of Seattle last year. Glad to be out of the market. Yeah. We need to get Caleb's take on it. I already did. Most people are just overpricing their house. They think they're getting COVID level pricing for pricing that isn't there. Hi, listen here, Financial Audit. I've curated the exact resources and tools I personally use or would use if I was in certain situations. So take advantage of these offers in the resources section in the description below. The first one, I've moved my investments to Webull. Do the same and transfer to my investing app of choice, and you get cash bonuses of $200 all the way up to $30,000, depending on initial funding amount, and up to 8.1% APY on your money, and up to 3.5 matches for your IRA. And then number 2, a great new checking account that I've switched over from SoFi, and it's called Chime. Get that $550 bonus when you sign up with direct deposit and get almost 4% on your money just sitting there. And then 3, automate your investing with Acorns. Usually sign-up incentives are only $5, but you get $20 with my link. Number 4, you can increase your income and boost your resume with a Course Career certification. 5, if T-Mobile is good in your area, switch to Helium and get a literal $0 a month phone plan for the same exact service. But most importantly, go get your free Hammer financial score and see where you stand in the world of finances. Take the assessment at calebhammer.com. You will not regret any of these. Change your life today.
95% of our behaviors are shaped unconsciously by our emotions, meaning almost all decisions are emotional, whether you realize it or not. That's why we eat that piece of cake when we're on a diet or hit snooze when we know we have to get up early for something.
All right, so your home's been on the market for 45 days and you're wondering why it's not selling when your neighbor's worst house sold in 2 weeks. And after 8+ years of selling homes in Fort Worth, I can tell you exactly why some homes fly off the market while others sit, and it's not what most sellers think. So I'm going to show you 3 market signals that reveal whether you're priced with the market or behind it, so that way you can sell strategically instead of hopefully. Because if you want to be the seller who gets multiple offers instead of sitting and waiting, then this might be the reality check that you needed. Because here's what's happening to sellers right now. You're pricing your home based on what sold 3 months ago, while the
so here's a month here. This came out recently. Let's see what they're saying on CNBC.
All right, so folks, you may not care about the Federal Reserve or interest rates, but you may want to buy a home. And what the Fed does could influence the bond market, which could influence mortgage rates. And guess what? We got new numbers on pending home sales for the month of June. Diana Olick with those.
Well, Brian, pending home sales in June dropped just less than 1% from May, and we're down 2.8% from June of last year. These counts are based on signed contracts for existing homes, so people out shopping in June, and that's when the average rate on the 30-year fix actually dipped slightly.
It did. What about today? Where do I pull that? I forgot where to pull that. Average 30-year, because inflation data came out today that the Fed probably wasn't thrilled with. We're seeing... Today's rate is at, come on, Rocket Mortgage. Oh, you're trying to get me to sign up for a survey. Fuck you. Fuck you. Bank rate, Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis has it today at 3.65.
Briefly, the home builders noted in recent earnings that this brought more buyers in June, but of course the builders are also able to buy down rates. Home sellers can't, and rates popped up again in July. Today we are at 6.77% according to Mortgage News Daily. Now sales were down despite a nearly 29% gain in active listings, that from Realtor.com.
It's crazy. It's just the sellers. The sellers have to accept, hey, you're not going to get what you're going to get, dude. You're not going to get what you were going to get a few years ago. That's it. It's the housing market because it's a market. You got to play the market. That's it. About to put my house on the market. Makes me nervous. I would be. Hopefully your local market's a little better. Mortgage Daily News is at 6.27% today. It's good. Why is everyone leaving Texas? I don't think Texas has a net immigration problem. I don't think so. I think Texas and Florida is still some of the highest immigrated to states, right?
Some of that gain is because homes are just sitting and not selling. There was actually a pull.
Any advice for people in the UK? Get out. It's like the most declining country I've ever witnessed. It's crazy.
Back in new listings in June. Regionally, though, sales dropped everywhere except in the Northeast, which is kind of weird because home price growth has been strongest in the Northeast.
Probably a lack of supply, right? Even with people putting things on the market, they don't really build in the Northeast anymore. Lots of NIMBYs. No in my backyards.
And
the South, Florida, Texas, lots of building, lots of YIMBYs. Yes, in my backyard. My goodness, I fucked that up.
Mortgage applications to buy a home, that's from this week. They dropped 6% from the previous week, down 5% over the past 4 weeks. Total mortgage demand, including refinances, is at the lowest level since May. Now, the Mortgage Bankers Association's economist said it was less about the rate.
What is the Fed going to do if employment numbers keep looking rough, but inflation also keeps looking rough? How do you fight the dual mandate when both are against your mandate? Light cut of rates? I think the Fed would prioritize inflation more, right? Prioritize fighting inflation more than fighting unemployment. That's kind of what has my concern. Is a video about moving to New York a joke? No, but I'm not moving to New York for political or tax or barely business or anything reasons. I mean, there's business incentives, of course. Mostly, it's a global hub, so it's easier to get people in and out day of, which a lot of people require for the show compared to Austin. Austin's not a great airport system in terms of direct flights. But I'm mostly like, one, I want 4 seasons. I'm done with Texas heat. And 2, I don't like suburbia. I am a walkable person. I want to step outside and have access to 25 coffee shops in a 5-minute walk. So, I mean, that's why. And that's literally the only reason. I don't care about the fact that it's New York City specifically. That's not what it's about. It's about the lifestyle that I want to live, right? So that's it.
And more about, as we keep saying, uncertainty in the economy and the job market. Brian, I'm sure you've heard that.
Yes, I'm sure I have heard it, and I will hear it more and more.
It also has good big city amenities with sports teams and food and all that stuff that cities like Austin really lack. Austin has pretty good food, but not on the same level. And also, it's just, we don't have the big city amenities.
To accept less.
So this guy is talking about kind of what's going on right now. So let's talk about how bad the signs of the market are right now for housing.
And this type of behavior is actually very common in the midst of housing market downturns. In any type of downturn, actually, even if it's like the stock market, any asset class where prices start dropping, there's this period of denial that sellers have in that market.
Have you been to NYC? It's gross. Big guy. My entire team just went there a couple weeks ago. In the area where our office would be, an area where I would live, it's literally not. It didn't smell like urine or trash once. There was no homeless. I think when most people think of New York City, they think of like right in the middle of Midtown or, the heavy tourist spots where all the loiterers are and all the people are pissing and it's just disgusting. That's like not statistically, this is not 90%, but you wouldn't be visiting those other areas where people actually live and enjoy life, right? Outside of when you're visiting as a tourist. Pittsburgh's too small. I wouldn't move to Pittsburgh.
Where they say to themselves like, oh, this isn't real. This is no big deal. This actually isn't happening. And I believe we're going through that right now in the U.S. housing market in a state like Florida, where I'm standing right now. This is one of the biggest states for delisting of homes.
I'm not surprised. Housing prices in Florida, rent in Texas, dramatically going down. But the state built, and the state wanted to build. Honestly, a lot of it is political strategy, even to get more representation in Congress, So they built. And I'm sorry, but when there's more on the market, when you want to go sell, you're not going to be selling at the price where the market now has more supply. It's not going to happen.
And the values here, they're down 3.8% over the last year. Yeah. And you see a lot of...
Kentucky was up 6.1%. What the fuck?
Sellers, when they list their house, they're not accepting that. They still want peak price. But the thing is, folks, after the...
Why not California? Because it's still deep suburbia. You're not going to find me walking. Like, where's the walkability in LA? Like 4 streets. And also California has a dramatic homeless population problem that New York City doesn't have. And it's like a different kind of homeless, aggressive and dangerous and injecting in the middle of the street.
period of denial often comes the period of capitulation. And what I think a lot of these sellers are missing is just the overall trajectory of the market, because the listings and the inventory on the market keeps going up. Same data from Realtor.com shows that we now have almost 1.1 million.
That's crazy. Okay, June 2019. Okay, here we go. So this is when housing prices were fucking crazy. It was right around here, which is crazy because you would think everyone would be selling their houses and collecting that money. But I guess, well, okay, wait. This is housing supply in the real estate market. Okay, I guess it's because so many people were buying and selling at the same time that it kept it down, right? That's probably it, right? That's my guess. Because people were selling and collecting that money. I guess people were buying too.
Active listings across the U.S. housing market as of June 2025. That listing count, that inventory count is now almost back to pre-pandemic levels on a national basis. And in a state like Florida, inventory is way above where it was before the pandemic. And across the entire South, actually, the 16-state southern region, inventory is above pre-pandemic levels. So when you have all that inventory, and you have demand still down considerably from pre-pandemic levels, you're going to have a soft housing market. You're going to...
Yeah, that's where we are. People just got to give it up, man. Give it up if you're a seller.
Have home prices dropping. You're going to have sellers getting frustrated. And my fear for a lot of these sellers who are delisting is that they don't understand what they're about to walk into 6 to 12 months down the line. I mean, here in Florida, for instance, everyone, our Reventure app home price.
Here we go. So yeah, it's up in a lot of the Midwest except for Indiana. I never really had a lot of confidence in Indiana. Oh, this is forecast. I was going to say Kentucky was higher in that last image. Forecast. So where a lot of people left to during the pandemic, looks like it's headed down. But also California headed down. That's interesting. Because if people are going back to the Northeast and that's going up, you'd think, well, wouldn't that happen on the West Coast as well with Washington, Oregon, California? This is very interesting. What is this? We should play around with this app. What is this? Fuck the title, man.
This forecast is saying, here in Florida, for instance, everyone, our Reventure app home price forecast.
Reventor. Think of like the monetary area. Alabama? Monterey? Where's Monterey? Alabama? Monterey, Florida? Where's Monterey? House near me went from 30,000 to 300,000 in 4 years. That's fucking wild. I mean, that sounds like a local boom and bust, right? Oh, here we go. Hold on. I want to make sure my location's not in this. I don't think it is. Interesting. This is by metro. This is by state. So this is where we are. This is home values right here. So, well, obviously Northeast is most expensive. West Coast. Yeah, that's home value. Home value growth. That's what we care about, right? Here we go. So this is where we saw in his video. Kentucky was up 5.5%. Michigan's up. Midwest is just up as a whole. Well done, Midwest. Northeast is up except for Vermont. What happened in Vermont? That's curious. New York's up substantially. California is down 1.25%. I'm not paying for this dick shit. Source Zillow. It's a fun website though. But does this correlate with population growth? For sale inventory. Here we go. And where do you see the decline? The reddest of the red. But interesting enough, we were seeing a big increase in sales price or in home value growth year over year in New York and Michigan as well. But those are both red, and same with Pennsylvania. But look at Florida and Texas. Look at that. 166,000 for sale inventory. That's twice what we're seeing in California. The sellers are just going to have to give up. Where in DC are you? I'm not in DC, nor I've never been to DC. This is interesting. Low on the market and, well, low populated states. That's not surprising, I don't think. That's interesting. Okay, sure. What's driving New York? Home value year over year growth in metro. Well, we know Austin was certainly decline where I am. That's what we've seen, a lot of declines. All of Florida counties are in decline. A lot of Texas, all the Texas major ones are in decline. LA's still up. New York, which was heavily red, is actually more up in Syracuse and stuff. This is curious. For sale inventory. Yeah, most of the inventory for sales like New York City, Long Island. Austin's heavy. Dallas is huge at 30,000. 35. Fuck off. Fuck. No! I don't want. Okay, you made me click off your website. Well done, loser.
forecast is saying minus 6.2% in Florida the next 12 months at a statewide basis. In some areas, we're thinking prices are going to drop 10% in the next 12 months.
That's crazy. 10% drop would be fucking wild. Listen, I'm sure it might pick all the way back up again if rates go down dramatically. But will rates go down dramatically if inflation keeps doing a little ticky-ticky? Right? Hold on. I do not want this video to... We're not doing Skydance. Mortgage rates are at an 11-month low. Here it is, firm inflation. So this is the inflation data earlier. Oh, look at this. It's a tracker by fruit is up. Apples are dramatically up. Auto repair is up 15%. This is fucking crazy. New vehicles only 0.7%, but used up 6%. Apparel, not much. Tools and hardware up and furniture up. That's interesting. Coffee up 20%. Ground beef up 13%. That's fucking wild. Hey, recreation's down. That's good for all you recreationals out there. Lettuce is up 3%. Potatoes up 2%. That's a very interesting. Okay, let's get some the inflation data. Okay, here we go. So this is kind of the concerning chart, right? It's not like it's skyrocketing up by any means, but I mean, so imagine you're the Fed. Stagflation. That's what it fucking would be, and I don't want that. I do not want to enter that period. We already heard of stagflation before. Well, that was like the 70s, early 80s. Fuck! I don't want to go through that in my life. I thought we solved that shit. So you're sitting in the Fed, so I'm going to pretend I'm the Fed right now. Oh, good. Oh, inflation's finally going down. Oh, rates are up. Okay, well, let's hold rates up for a while. Inflation's going down. Oh, a little tick up. Go. Oh, inflation's going down. And then tick, tick, tick. 3 ticks in a row up. Tick, tick, tick. That would be scary. Overall inflation, it's like, that's pretty decently up. That would make me nervous as the Fed. But at the same time, seeing unemployment, fucking 2024 job numbers were just revised at like 1 million less gains than we thought. Isn't that insane? It's fucking crazy. Prices rose 3.1% over the past 12 months. Matching forecast. Looks like it's being driven heavily by like coffee and stuff. What's going on with coffee? Uncooked beef steaks up 17%. Guess it's better than cooked. Are you buying a cooked beef steak? Beef steak from the grocery store, or cooked steak? If you're buying a cooked steak from the grocery store, you deserve the inflation. So that's fucking crazy. But even still, mortgage rates. Okay, here we go. Here's the overall chart of what we're seeing since 2022. So this is obviously when rates started to rise, and then, kind of flat around that. What would you say? 6.5, 6.75. Kind of going in between, but it's on its way down right now. But will it continue that way if we keep seeing this inflation news? What the Fed's going to do? People have predicted the next Fed meeting that it's going to be like a 1/4 point cut, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Buyers have already gained purchasing power compared with the start of the year. A home shopper with a $3,000 monthly housing budget can afford to buy a $466,000 home at a 6.35% mortgage rate, assuming a 20% down payment, which good the fuck luck. So are people coming to the table with $900,000? More than that. No, wait, $90,000. Sorry. It's late. It was a long day. It was a long fucking day. Essentially $100,000 after closing costs. Are people coming to the table with that? Because that'd be fucking crazy. Who can have that? What's the average savings in the U.S.? Hey, let's search that up. What's the... here we go. Median savings account, not including retirement in the USA. Because how do you come up with $100,000? The average person. Property taxes last year were $6,000. That's disgusting. That is disgusting. The Fed is cutting is so priced in that if it doesn't, then it'll be a hell of a dip. That's interesting. Okay, here we go. Under 35, median saving balance. Transaction account balance, I guess, 5,400. 35 to 44 is 7,500. 45 to 54 is 8,700. Then it goes down, 55 to 64, down to 8,000. Then it rockets up from 65 to 74 at 13,400. Then down again, 75 years and higher at 10,000. Some buyers charged ahead. Mortgage purchase applications in the week ended September 5 rose 22% from a year earlier to the highest seasonally adjusted level since July, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. Interesting. Fuck. Every time this mic's in front of my keyboard, I just get stressed.
Let me summarize for you just how unaffordable it's become for the average American to buy a house in the United States. The average household income in the United States is $80,000 a year. And
Really? I thought it was like, I guess average, right? That's not median. Let's get average. And median's more important than average. Median's 80,000. Wow. Okay. And and the most recent available data, 2024, puts the real median household income at $83,730. Wow, we kill the rest of large countries on the earth. Obviously, city-states, I don't really count that shit.
Financial advisor recommends that you spend only 25% of your after-tax.
That's not realistic, but I would try my best not to go above 35%. It's not going to be impossible in places like LA, San Francisco, New York City, but the best you can do, try to stick it at that 35
income on your housing budget.
No
your
higher.
after-tax income, if you make $80,000 a year, is $60,000. And if you were to take 25% of that on a monthly basis standpoint, your monthly mortgage payment should be no more than $1,250 per month.
And that's not possible unless you put like 50% down. That's impossible.
A $1,250 per month mortgage budget only affords you a $175,000 home. But the average home price here in America is $420,000. So the average household in America can only afford a $175,000 home, but the average home price is $420,000. That, simply put,
that's crazy,
is the entire issue that America.
Which is why people are getting houses they can't afford, and people are refusing to fucking, lower the price they're trying to sell their houses for.
Americans are dealing with right now. Do not let anybody ever tell you that right now is the right time to buy. The right time to buy a house is when you can afford it, and that's it.
Yes.
And if you can't afford it, that's totally fine. Renting is okay.
Renting is very economical right now.
Realtor saying
the housing market has become so unaffordable for most Americans over the past 4 years, and I want to.
Let's talk about this headline. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Alia Muhammad.
Headline: when making $135,000 means roommates. I'm sure in some places, sure.
I'm the co-founder of Open Igloo, and I share tips and info on renting in New York City, so be sure to give us a follow.
The fuck is Open Igloo? Verified but not me. They have 59,000 followers. What the fuck is going on?
The gist of this article is that if you are not making $139,000 a year, you cannot afford the majority of the available rental listings in New York City. And this is
New York City, yeah.
How did we get to the point in the United States?
Your rent has gone up, and if you looked on Zillow recently for relief, you've probably been bummed out. Got a bad case of that.
What's wrong with this guy? There's like a chin situation happening.
Never move agains. You're not imagining it. A study finds that.
No, it's The Shadow. Why is this film crew not taking care of this?
First time ever, rent is unaffordable for half of all U.S. renters. The study from Harvard finds rents went way up during COVID. Half of renters paying more than 30% of their income on rent. 25% of people pay more than 50% of their income.
That's insane. 25% pay more than 50? How can you survive? That's not possible. Move to Roswell, you can survive in $40K. Yeah, true.
On rent. The study author told NPR, even though rents have started to come down in some expensive areas, people most in need are not seeing a lot of relief. She says new apartments on average are more than $1,400 a month. Now remember, this is nationwide. She adds that millions of low-cost apartments have been wiped off the market. Average cost for an apartment in LA County is $2,700 a month, although that is down about $300 since last year. It is still nearly twice the national average.
What's a young college graduate to do?
Stay home.
Yeah.
Live at home.
Unfortunately, and that's a part of it until you save up a lot of money. It's sad, but yeah. Does anyone know how much it costs to move a mobile home within California? Buying some land, already have the mobile home? Well, I mean, land's going to depend on the area, big guy. And that's all it is. You can't just say in California. California is huge with massive areas, different areas, completely different areas.
I guess so.
Yeah.
ADU in the
next
back.
day.
I mean,
yeah.
But this should be no surprise because everything has gone up. Everything is super expensive.
Everything will typically, historically, on average, always go up. That is something to bake in. But boomer wealth transfer 2030 to 2035. We'll see. I'm very curious. What if they just blow it all first?
And with that, you ask a landlord how much it costs them to get a sink fixed, to get, the apartment reclaimed.
It's true. I mean, I bought a dilapidated property that no one was willing to live in, no one was willing to buy to live in or fix up as just a long-term rental play. I know it's expensive bringing everything up to just a good livable house. I used to put a unit on the market that wasn't there to begin with, but fuck, dude, it's expensive to do anything. Labor's expensive. It's brutal.
Cleaned and painted, everything is through the roof.
Learn how to do it yourself.
Yeah. There you go.
Especially if you're a homeowner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Hey, Caleb Hammer stream fans, make sure you get your financial score for free. Take the assessment at calebhammer.com or dollarwise.com. It's free. See where you stand in the world of finances.